things that I got to talk about today. Excuse me, on this Thursday. But let's get down to it. Let's get into the first thing that we got up, and that is Miss Candy Owens. So Miss Candy Owens came back to us, let us know that a couple things. Okay. Let me fix this. There we go. So Candy Owens want to come back after this lawsuit that the French president put out on her. After he did put the defamation lawsuit against her, him and his wife, she came back and she's standing 10 toes down about what she said about his wife, saying that's a man. It ain't gonna change. I said, man, what's wrong with you? She said it ain't gonna change not a thing over here. Showing you a man in a dress. That's what you was born to be. I said, oh God. I said, she's pathetic. I said, to say that about that woman is crazy. And to stick by it, even though you being sued for defamation and you came out to it's like it's just wrong. Just apparently wrong. And she gonna keep doing what she gonna do. So I said, this lawsuit it may go through. I said, since she's standing 10 toes down behind it, I said, girl, he may win this. They may win, and what you gonna do then? But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Let's move on past Miss Candy Owens and her craziness. Let's get into, the Bravo show, Next Generation NYC. So we ended up having I think it was the last episode where Riley ended up having, it was the last episode, the finale. Riley had end up crying because they had to sit down where, a couple of her co-stars, actual co-workers, ended up defending her, because she said, I'm just going to be quiet about how I feel. And we got Gia Judy, her crazy self, telling her it's the way you speak to people. I said, girl, look the way you talking. Every time you open your mouth, you a negative person. You way more negative than Teresa, than your mother. Because we know your mother, when she get on her in her head, like, but you worse than you up there with Teresa. You worse than her. But you coming at her telling her, oh, it's the way you talk to people, but all you do is disrespect people. Left and right, since you've been on this show. You and what's his name? Chris or Charles, the other way guy, the oldest guy up here on the cast. I said, yeah, y'all are disrespectful all the way around, but because Riley spoke how she felt about her friend, about Georgia business idea, and said that it don't sound good. It's not a good idea. That was her opinion. It's either, and they said, I'd rather have a friend that's brutally honest with me. Okay, you can take it or leave it. They giving you an opinion. That's their opinion on what you just told them, what your business direction was, what your business idea was. And y'all got this girl up here crying. People trying to, have members defending her and stuff. She said, we want you to speak your mind. We want you to be who you are. And I said, you should always be who you are. I don't care if nobody in that group feels the way they feel. I said, Riley, you better keep speaking up. Better keep saying whatever on your mind, because they say whatever's on theirs. And don't let them put you in a box at all. Because the reason that people even watch this show is because of you. I ain't watching it because of the rest of them. I don't even care about them people. I don't even know them people. I know Gia, but I care less about her. I said the way she's totally disrespectful to her own family, her own uncle that's more like a father than the father that she got over there in the Bahamas. Yeah, it's where he at right now. And you disrespect your uncle to the fullest. And you talk about somebody else and how they speak to somebody. Helpful. But Riley, keep sticking up for yourself. Do not stop saying what's on your mind. If a person tell you an idea or whatever they feeling and you have an opinion about it, speak it. You been speaking it. You tell your mama how you feel. Don't stop now. You better let your granny up out of you. You know she raised you well. But let's move on past that. Let's get into the next. And we got King Sean Kingston mother. So she ended up getting sentenced to 5 years in prison. Yes, but she and her lawyer saying she said that she didn't even do anything. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy the luxury. I said, girl, you weren't gonna enjoy it. You was the main ringleader. Main ringleader, girl. You should have been worried about that head of yours. Damn. I said, girl, while you doing that 5 year time, you might as well tell the barber, cut it all off. Cause your hairline is gone, girl. It's gone. And it ain't coming back, baby. I don't even know if the surgery, the hair implant, I don't even know if that'll help, girl. You looking like Jaheem, girl. Ah, man, you looking like Jaheem, girl. That's not a good look. Not a good look at all, ma'am. Not a good look. Also, all the skipping you did, you should have been getting the hair transplant, girl. Oh man. Let's move on. Let's move on. So let's get into the next thing that we got up, and that's this lady who ended up, because if you remember, there was a McDonald's worker who ended up taking the life of her manager because she crazy. She really is. But she ended up taking the life because she got sent home early and she ain't like that. So, a person that used to work with her at Taco Bell ended up coming out and saying that this woman did a lot of things that she did at McDonald's. And she said this woman actually assaulted her, tried to stab her. She got showed the cut her up, all because she wouldn't take her shift. Wouldn't switch shift with her. She said so the woman cornered her in the freezer and pulled out a knife and started to slice them. And she said Taco Bell the management didn't do anything about the situation. Because they always sympathize with the woman because of her at home issue. I said I can care less about a person at home issue. And if she always got mad when she didn't get her away, I said, baby, that girl would know her name. I said, please, she wouldn't have known her name. That's it, because you didn't get your way. And I said that's the same. It's like what she explained of her not getting her way is the same thing that ended up costing that McDonald manager her life, because she didn't get her way. You got sitting home because of you being you. That's why you got sitting home. But that's what's going on there. Let's move on to the next. Let's give a congratulations to Brandy SY'Rai, her daughter. I hope I'm saying her name right. I always mess up this baby name. But, they will be starring in a Lifetime holiday movie called Christmas Every Day, starring opposite each other. And I said, this is going to be good. I said, I can't wait. I think it's going to be a great movie, and I can't wait to see it. Congratulations to both of the women, mother and daughter. I said, that's really nice. To get to work with your mom. But let's move on. So let's get into Philadelphia. So we got the Philly residents going off about the mayor, because the mayor only gave the sanitation workers a 3% pay increase when they was actually asking for an 8% pay increase. I want to say over 5 years, something like 5 or 8 years. 5 or 8 years or something. That's what the union wanted. But she gave them 3% over the next 3 years, which is nothing to me. I said, that's nothing. I said, instead of actually paying them what they was worth, you decided not to. But you living in luxury. but you can't even spell. Oh, the more I read about it, I get more mad like they do. I said, because I said it don't make sense that they only getting 3% increase, but it was 3% of some other stuff that they got. But I said it doesn't. You could have just gave them the 8%, and it's still trash out all over Philly. That's on the curb that they haven't even got to yet. But yeah, that's what's going on there. But that's all that I got for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's your boy Paul. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. You know, you can like it up. You know, you can just click in, click out, but you like that like. And you can subscribe to get up here when I get other stuff out here. Because I do short video. I do a lot of short videos. I try to be constant on my you know, lives and stuff. I'm trying to get on top of that, but you know, life be in the way a lot. And then sometimes I just be tired. I'll be so out of energy. I'll be like, because you gotta be energized and give the work of the work. And I try my best, but I'm gonna do better. But thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll get back at y'all later. Bye, y'all.